All right, let's dive into something kind of fun today. We're going to take a look at Ed Sheeran's Shape of You.
Oh, nice.
And I think we all know it, we have all heard it.
Absolutely, yeah.
But today, we're going to go a little bit deeper and see if we can't unpack this song and learn a little something about love and relationships and maybe even storytelling.
Yeah.
What do you say?
I love that. It's a song that's become such a huge part of our culture. It's almost inescapable.
Mhm.
But I think taking that time to really peel back the layers and see what's going on beneath the surface, that's where things get really interesting.
You know what always gets me right off the bat is, I mean, we all know the song, "The club isn't the best place to find a lover, so the bar is where I go." Like, he sets the scene right there in that very first line.
Yeah, it's so deliberate, isn't it? It's not the club, it's the bar. I
Yeah.
think that choice of setting, it kind of tells us something about the narrator right away, doesn't it? Like he's looking for something a little more real, a little bit more grounded, maybe a little less fleeting than what you might find in a typical club scene. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. And then there's that line about Van Morrison. He says, "Take my hand, stop, put Van the Man on the jukebox."
Right.
What's that about? Why Van Morrison?
I think it's such a clever detail because it goes beyond just setting the scene. It's a glimpse into his taste, his personality. Like musical taste can be such a powerful signal. It's like he's saying, hey, this is the kind of music I'm into. If you get it, you get me. It's a subtle way of gauging compatibility, maybe.
So there's like a little compatibility test hidden in there.
Exactly.
I love that. Now we've got to talk about I guess the elephant in the room. We've got lines like, "I'm in love with the shape of you. I'm in love with your body." He even talks about the scent of the other person on the bed sheets. Yeah.
There's a lot of focus on the physical here. What do you make of that?
Well, it's definitely upfront about the physical attraction, isn't it? There's no shying away from that. But I think it's interesting how it's all sort of layered in with these other details, right? I mean, there are also those verses about talking for hours and meeting the family and, oh, what's that line I love? Taxi cab kisses.
Taxicab kisses.
Yeah, there's a real sense of intimacy and connection woven in there too. It's not just pure lust. There's something more, there's something more nuanced going on.
Yeah. I always felt like that taxicab kisses line was such a sweet detail. Like it's not about some grand romantic gesture. It's about those little stolen moments in the everyday.
Right,
But
exactly.
it's true. It's like he's giving us these different pieces of the puzzle, the physical attraction, the emotional connection. But then there's that line, we push and pull like a magnet do.
Oh, that's a good one. What do you think he's getting at with that line? Well, I mean, every relationship has its ups and downs, right? It's
Yeah.
never all smooth sailing. There's always going to be that push and pull, that tension and release.
Yeah. And maybe that's part of what makes it so exciting. It's that constant dance between two forces, two personalities. It's never boring, that's for sure. It's like you said, like magnets. Sometimes they attract and sometimes they repel, but there's always that energy between them.
I like that analogy. And speaking of energy, there's also this sense of ongoing discovery in the song. He says, every day discovering something brand new.
Yeah, that's a really interesting point.
It's like he's acknowledging that the relationship is evolving. It's going beyond that initial spark of attraction.
Yeah, I think it challenges the notion of love at first sight being purely superficial, doesn't it? Because there's this idea that even when you're drawn to someone initially, there's always more to uncover, more to learn about them. It's not static, it's this dynamic process of discovery.
Yeah, it makes you wonder where the song's going to take us from here.
Yeah, where does it go from here? It's interesting how he keeps coming back to that phrase, I'm in love with your body. Like even after all those verses about their dates and the conversations and the deeper connection, he keeps sort of circling back to that physical attraction.
It's almost like it's this underlying current that runs through the whole song, right? It makes you wonder if, maybe he's trying to like reconcile these different aspects of love, the physical and the emotional.
Well, because they're not always in perfect harmony, are they?
Mhm.
Sometimes they can feel like you're pulled in different directions.
Oh, totally. I mean, haven't we all been there? You're totally smitten with someone, but then you also start to wonder if there's something more, if it can really last.
Exactly. And Sharon's not giving us easy answers, is he? He's laying it all out there, the desire, the uncertainty, the hope. He's leaving it open for us to interpret, to connect with the song in our own way.
And I think that's a big part of why this song resonates with so many people, because it captures that feeling of falling for someone, all the excitement and the confusion and the questions that come with it.
Yeah, it's like he's saying, hey, I'm going through this too. Let's figure it out together. It's that vulnerability, that honesty that makes it so relatable, I think. And then there's that line about Van Morrison, you know, just dancing to the music in a bar, and for a moment, all the complications fade away.
It's a nice reminder that sometimes it's good to just let go and enjoy the moment, right? But speaking of the song's structure, have you noticed how it kind of comes full circle? We start with that physical attraction, I'm in love with the shape of you, but
Yeah.
then we get these glimpses into their relationship, their dates, their conversations, and it feels like they're building something real.
And then bam, we're right back to I'm in love with your body. It's like he's reminding us that the physical attraction is still there. It hasn't gone away.
Yeah, it's interesting, right? It makes you wonder, what is he trying to say with that? Is he saying that physical attraction is ultimately what matters most?
Hmm. I don't think it's that simple. I think he's acknowledging that it's a powerful force, but it's not the whole story. Remember, he also talks about the push and pull, the constant discovery, the evolving nature of their connection.
You're right. It's like he's saying that all these things can coexist. The physical attraction can be there alongside the emotional connection and the shared experiences.
It's like he's saying that love is a tapestry, and it's woven from all these different threads. And it's the combination of those threads that makes it unique and beautiful and well, messy sometimes too.
It's like he's giving us this snapshot of a love story that's still unfolding. He's not giving us all the answers, but he's inviting us to fill in the blanks to imagine what happens next.
Exactly. And that's what makes it so compelling, isn't it?
Oh,
Because ultimately, we all have our own ideas about what love should look like, what it can
yeah.
become. So we each get to write our own ending to the story.
Yeah, and it's cool because it makes you think about, like, what does the shape of love look like for you?
Mhm.
He's giving us these pieces, but he's not defining it for us.
It's true. And I think that's part of what makes it such a powerful song
Hmm.
because it really reflects how love itself is um, so multifaceted.
Yeah.
It's not this one size fits all kind of thing.
Yeah.
It means something different to everybody.
Yeah.
We all bring our own experiences and our own baggage and our own hopes and dreams to the table, right?
Totally. Totally. And I think that's why this song can spark so many different conversations. It's not just a song about two people, it's a song about this universal
I
experience.
love that. It's about that human connection.
Yeah. It's
So
about that yearning for something more, something deeper.
exactly. And it kind of reminds us that we're not just, passive observers in our own love stories. We have choices to make. We can shape those narratives. We can decide what kind of love we want to build.
So maybe it's not just a catchy pop song after
All
all.
right.
Maybe it's like this, I don't know, like a springboard for something bigger, something more meaningful.
I think it absolutely is. And I think that's the mark of, truly great art. It
Yeah.
stays with you. It makes you think. It makes you feel.
It sparks a conversation,
Exactly.
and it doesn't give us all the answers.
It leaves us with those questions.
Yeah, and that's okay.
Yeah.
So next time you hear this song, maybe you're at a bar or just listening on your headphones, whatever, think about those nuances, those complexities that we talked about today.
Yeah. Think about what the shape of love means to you.
Yeah. What matters most to you in your relationships.
And I think if you really listen, you might be surprised by what you discover.
I think so too. Thanks for diving in with me today.
Oh, always a pleasure.